Hi there and welcome to this week's Hobbytime at Healys video. Thank you very much for tuning in. As the title suggests, this week I'm going to be going through my top 5 items that I've purchased in the last 12 months that have really helped me step up my hobby game. Now these are relating to my miniatures hobby, so you're looking Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, any other miniatures games, so hopefully they can help you, and if you've been umming and ahhing about getting some of these products, point you in the right direction and give you an honest review. So at this point, you know by now, grab yourself a cuppa and let's dive straight on in. So, kicking off this list of 5 items that really helped me over the last 12 months, you'll notice that each of these items actually kind of flow from construction of your miniatures all the way through to priming, painting, right to those little finishing touches you apply at the end. And hopefully, if anyone's been on the fence about purchasing these, this is going to help you out, or maybe even give you an alternative you weren't aware of. This is the World War Scenics small green stuff kit. Now this is actually, it sounds World War Gaming on Amazon, and I'll put a link to this in the description with all the items as well down below, so you can take a look at them yourself. This actually came up during lockdown when I was looking to get some green stuff for some kit bashing that I was doing. And I came across this, which was really, really good. Now this here, as I said, is the small kit. So I'm going to open it up and show you now. Now, with this small kit, as you can see here, first impressions, the packaging wasn't great. But that doesn't really matter. You're not going to use the packaging for anything else. I just really was interested in everything else that came with it. Now, the key thing that I was after was this right here, which is the green stuff itself. Now, there's no difference between this green stuff and the green stuff you can buy from Games Workshop. Not that I've noticed anyway. It did the exact same job. Everything was perfect. It's held and it's stored really well, easy to file down and to work with. Now, the kit itself, this is the small kit, as I said, which RRPs at $7.99 on Amazon. It comes with free postage and packaging. It doesn't have Prime delivery, however, which is a shame. It came with 4 inches of green stuff. Now, I've weighed this, and this works out at just under 20 grams. And already, when you buy a pack of green stuff from Games Workshop, there is £7 for 20 grams. Now this kit is $7.99, so you're getting what you need here in terms of the green stuff, plus these tools as a bonus, which I think was brilliant. And as somebody who needed a few extra sculpting tools, this was really a no-brainer. The tools you get with it are, you get 2, as I said, sculpting tools here. So you have the flat and the more detailed ones for you. Now, I found these really great. Like I said, the kit, what I was kit bashing at the time was some Necron death marks with some Adeptus Mechanicus. And I needed to sculpt some shoulder pads, hence the green stuff. These were really good and really helpful. This particular for detail work when I was working on the spines, and this right here for when I was smoothing out the shoulder pads and getting that nice finish on it. So I cannot fault them. I think they're really great, they're really versatile. And if we take it here, for example, this more detailed sculpting tool, little things, like common sense, like it's pointy here and it's pointy here. So if you're working on it on your hand like that, on a miniature, you're not going to stab yourself with the other end. It's a really good quality kit, and I've not had a problem with it so far. So this kit also comes with 2 files, a round and a flat one. Now again, you can't really talk much about files in terms of the fact that they're great for removing, mold lines, or if you snip something off a sprue and as close as you've been, you still need to get rid of that tiny little part. They're great. And I think that, especially if you compare it to the file set that you get from Citadel, so on the web store and you can pick up and install, I think theirs is like a triangular file and a slightly more rounded file. They are up here at £13. And again, if you're looking at it in terms of that's £13, your green stuff would be £7 from Citadel. This is $7.99, and this is the small kit. You can get ones with 6 or 8 inches of green stuff if you need more, or I think that works out in terms of 30 or 40 grams. $7.99 for this kit. Absolute bargain for anybody who is up for customizing the models. Just generally, these are really helpful when you're building, like filing, removing mold lines. I can't sing the praises enough. I'm sure you guys, if anybody's looking at getting files or some sculpting tools for that awesome conversion or anything else, I would highly recommend this kit right here. This is the small green stuff sculpting kit. from World War Gaming, and the link is in the description below. Really check them out. Thought it was great. So for item number 2, I wanted to keep in line with like I say, keep the flow to it. This is another constructional element that I found really helpful, but also work as a repair tool. This was something that I saw on the shelf and didn't really believe, and was like, nah, don't be stupid, that's not a thing. But gave it a go nonetheless. And that is this right here. This is Army Painter, and it's Magic Super Glue Activator. It's a little spray bottle, there's not much in it at all, and it's very simple. It's you put the super glue on the model, on the parts you want to do, held it together, and rather than standing there and waiting, now you spray this within 2 seconds, solid. It sounds a little bit wild, and it sounds a little bit mad, but it works. For me, this was invaluable for, again, building those units I was talking about before, because of the spines on them were very fiddly, and with the green stuff and everything I was trying to construct, it was a little bit hard. So I sprayed this on within literally, it's like 1-2 seconds max. It held, it was solid. It was brilliant. You know, I waited like another few minutes just to make sure it was truly solid and it was ready to work with more. It doesn't need it. I found this stuff is brilliant for you know, those quick holds, those really fiddly bits that you're using. Really, really good stuff. So this product is really, it can be really helpful, and it's not just for conversions and those fiddly bits. This has been really great for broken models on the battlefield. You know, a rogue dice knocks something over, or anything like that. For example, I'm going to show you here, I'm going to give it a go and use it for you. This is, everybody's seen these really annoying, frustrating flying stands. So these always seem to break on my my Inceptors. I know what you're saying, use metal rods, things like that. It's just at the time this is what I used. I really wanted to get these guys out of the Dark Imperium box and on the go. So literally just put the tiniest little bit of super glue on the stand, then push it up against where you want it to connect. You want to hold this back. You'll be looking, you know, just probably, you know, a couple of centimeters, maybe you know, 10 centimeters back. Give it a spray. It will coat the model and anything it falls in touch with, and you can see it working here, where it's literally, you can see it solidifying the glue. Now, don't worry too much. It looks like it's going to leave that sort of, you know, not great super glue markings where it's kind of white. That's really easy to paint over. Just a little bit of a touch up, and it's fine. And when you prime a model, if you're doing it on something you're building, there's no problems. But yeah, I'm going to leave that here right now, and look, it's already stood up. It's holding. It's brilliant. I think this is a great thing to have, and it's tiny as well. It fits in the palm of your hand, so it's really helpful to have in your backpack or in your case. If you go into a tournament especially, this is brilliant stuff in case one of your models falls over or breaks. And just generally a great assembly tool. I think at RRPs, so I picked it up from my my local independent game store for, it was like £5.50 was the RRP, what was the price I paid for it. I know that you can get it on the Army Painters website in Europe for about €6.50. And on Amazon, there's a few people selling it. Just be careful if you're looking at this on Amazon, because you might get a few people selling it for, say, £6, £7, £8, but whacking £5 postage on it. So just make sure you're trying to get it from the Army Painter or your local independent game store, and support the businesses there. But great little tool, and this was number 2 on our list, and I would recommend picking this up. It's really helpful, and it literally, it works as you've just seen. It's brilliant. I really love it. And now for item number 3. Again, continuing now, when you're ready and you've built your models using your sculpting kit and your super glue activator if you need it, things like that, we go on to priming them. Now, everybody has their trusted spray stick. For me, for a very long time, it was a piece of wood with some double-sided tape on it or some blue tack, and the inevitable happened when my wonderful, glorious model of Transin Valoris just fell onto a concrete floor and just dented really badly across all that lovely filigree and cloak on his shoulder pad. I was devastated. I thought I'd secured it really well, but it just didn't work. Then, almost as if they'd heard my cries, Games Workshop announced this bad boy. This is the Citadel Colour Spray Stick. Now, as you can see, this has got some heavy usage from me, and it comes apart, I think, there we go, it was a bit sprayed together. Comes apart, so easy for transport, so you've just got this here, and I love it. I think it's great for really giving you good control of holding and spraying your models. Now, the way it works is that you have right here the stick itself, and it comes with a nice bag of basically elastic bands. Now, you get quite a lot in here, and again, I've had this since it came out, and this is how many I've used. The ones that are currently on here, as long as you take them off and give them a good stretch to get the excess paint off, I've not had to replace any of them, which again is brilliant. So let's say, for example, we take this guy right here, a Necron Immortal, and strap it in. So for the 32mm bases, I've left the gap just here to hold it in between, and it gives you that awesome control of, see, look at that. No worrying right there. I mean, obviously if you shake it too violently it'll fall, but look at that, upside down. It gives you that awesome control of when you are spraying, of seeing every single part of the model as you go. So this will fit about 6 32mm based models on it, with enough clearance between them to get all that detail across. And I love it. I think this is a great buy. If somebody is looking to prime models, definitely this is worth a shot. Now, obviously, as you can see from the width of the stick, it doesn't hold all base sizes. So the first base size that I came across didn't fit on here was actually Illuminor Cerzes, the Necron guy who came out. He just didn't fit. He was just too big, and I've got him here to give you that comparison. He's kind of half part of the way through painting, and he's just too big on there. He wasn't quite right. So with him, that wasn't too bad. I just obviously taped him to the top of an old spray can. Really easy to do. So it does go up to pretty much most base sizes. So it will fit your ovals, like for example, it will fit your your Lord Arcanum on Griff Charger very, very comfortably. So fits him on there. If you secure him with the bands, it is great. It's a really helpful tool. So you can pick these up at your local Warhammer store. They are RRP at $12.95, and I think they're a bargain. You know, for a very long time, and everybody has their trusted ways of spraying models, whether it's on top of a cardboard box, inside of a cardboard box, you know, on your trusty spray stick, whatever it is. I think this is brilliant, especially if you're doing, you know, squads of 5 men or more, things like cultists and the like. And they're great at sub-assembly parts as well. So, for example, using the bands sideways like this and hooking something underneath, which is what I did when I sprayed my Cryptex, because I really wanted to build this guy as a sub-assemblies. All I did was grab this guy, and it looks a bit weird, but I just held him on just like that. I then sprayed up the vast majority of the model using the stick, and then after I got him out and he was dry, gave him one last quick blast just to fill in that blank where it was held. Like, you can even use blue tack on the side of it. This has got so many uses. I would rate it, and again, this would get props from me to invest in if you're looking for an easy way to spray your models. So yeah, one set is a Citadel Colour spray stick. Again, link in the description. Check them out. Really, really worth it. So, item number 4, and keeping with the Citadel product line range at the moment, I'm going to go on about these paint handles. Now, when I first saw these come out, I was like, there's no problem with me holding my models and painting them. And man, did I have egg on my face. The first time I picked one of these up, I gave it a little spin. I have not looked back since. To the point where now I have the larger one, and I also bought the bundle pack of these where you get, I think it's 5 or 6 of them for 20 quid or whatever it was when they came out. And you can get the red ones as well. Of course, the red ones help you paint faster. It's just the way it works. And they're just great. Like, again, they give you so much more control and so much less sort of, you know, fiddling around with the model, holding it that way. It's brilliant. The small ones will hold most models up to, I think I've got obviously Terminator 40mm bases on here. Yep, so that's the 40mm base from a Stormcast Eternal there for you. It holds super well. Like, really, 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 really well. They're brilliant. I think these are great. There's they're such a cheap investment as well, and there are alternatives out there also for you. You know, you've got you can get people who do like 3D printed ones. You've got the people who use a trusty cork, things like that. But if you're looking for something just, you know, and you see these on the shelves and you think, is it worth buying? Yes, I would recommend getting one. I think they're really good. They're just much easier on your wrist as well, and they're great. Obviously, you know, I've got 6 of these smaller ones now, and when you're doing a squad and they're all on the handle, it's brilliant because you can literally just do what you need, put it down, pick up the next one. By the time you get back to it, obviously it's dry and it's just so much easier and nicer to handle. I think they're great. They're wonderful. I do think the design could have been improved slightly. That's my only thing is, now it might be asking a bit much on this, but it is a little fiddly sometimes trying to get the model into it. Now, it holds it really well, I will give you that. You know, Citadel, I've got a product here that will hold your model super well. However, I just think that maybe if say, for example, the handle, you had the spring in here, and this little area here at the bottom, how cool would it be if you could, say, push that in with your thumb, and it just released ever so slightly, you know, like just ease off a little bit. Like that, I think that would be great. It just releases a little bit there, and then you just, you know, gives you a little bit easier to get your model out. Sometimes it can be a little fiddly. That's my only complaint. Otherwise, if you see one on the shelf and you're umming and ahhing, I would say pick it up. They're well worth it. You've got the larger size as well for things like, go back to the old trusty Lord Arcanum on Griff Charger, and very easily, no problems, fits that oval base on there, and again, super sturdy. It's even fitted the Lord of Biotransfer himself, Illuminor Surzaz. Again, look at that, super easy. Would recommend the Citadel paint handles. Now I'm going to interject slightly here on in between number 4 and 5 to give you item 4.5. And you'll realise now why. It's we're on the theme of painting, and I'm just going to touch on how if you're looking to up your painting game more, or if you're like me where you sit down, you do some painting, doorbell goes, something happens downstairs, you know, the cat gets in the way, and you need to stop and go back, and you come back and your paints are all dry. I would really recommend one of these, the Army Painter Wet Palette. Really rate this. I'm only going to touch on it slightly because I've done a 2-part video on this previously where I unbox it and go through all the bits and kind of show you how I've set it up and put it through some tests. So check out that video if you want some more information on this. I'll put the little link to it just kind of along here. But yeah, Army Painter Wet Palette. You know, you can pick it up from your local sort of, you know, store for about £18. Really good. I am so happy I've got it and have not looked back since, so would really recommend. So that's kind of a sneaky little one there. So item 4.5. But yeah, Army Painter Wet Palette, really recommend. There are other brands out there as well, and you can do your homemade ones, but this, for the price, I think this is perfect. Really good quality. And we move on to the final item in our list. This is when your model's beautifully painted and you're ready just to add those final little notes, which for me have always been transfers. Now, I've always done my transfers by cutting them out of the sheet, putting them in water, taking them off, putting them on the model. And that's fine. There isn't a problem with doing that until I saw this stuff. And this has been around for a very long time, and it is Microsol and Microset. Microsol and Microset. And this stuff's brilliant. One of them is used for softening your decals, which is the set, and basically helps you put them on rounder surfaces way easier than water. It's brilliant. It's so good for getting on those like knee pads and things like that. Great stuff. Once that's sorted, you then go over it with a little bit of the Microsol, and this literally gives it that beautiful finish. And I don't know how it does it. It's almost like it deletes and it dissolves all of part of the transfer sheet that doesn't have any pigment in it. So it kind of, you keep that section of colour, but not the little bit that goes around it. And I'm going to show you what I mean by this, by just showing you 2 of my models that I did, one without this stuff and one with. So I'm going to go to my little trusty Inceptor Sergeant right here, and as you can see on the shoulder pad, this yellow transfer has just got the little bits around it, if you can see, where it's just not quite, it just looks, it looks like it's a transfer. It sounds really stupid, but it looks like it's something rather than it's painted and it's made onto the armor. So I did this with water, just the way I'd always done transfers, and I didn't have a problem with it. You know, at the time, I just thought it's how transfers came out. Now, if I show you to one of my more recent guys, which is, again, I'm going to stick with the Blood Angels here so it's on the same colours. And this is one of my, this is my Phobos, Primaris Phobos Captain for my Angels Sanguine. And on that knee pad, and here again on the shoulder pad, but you can see now whether it doesn't have those little details around them, like the Inceptor Sergeant, where it's like I said, it almost dissolves the parts that don't have pigment. It's brilliant. This stuff's been around for a very long time and only just crossed my hobby desk, and I love it. I think it's great stuff. It's really easy to pick up, again, from your local hobby store or craft store. They are a little steep, so I paid, basically I paid £8 a pot. Now, I am aware you can get it cheaper, but I like to help out the independents. And this will last you for a very long time. I know one of the guys in my local Warhammer store has been using this stuff, who's the guy who introduced me to it, and he's not bought any new pots, and he's been doing the hobby for 20 years. He's not bought any more pots. He's used the same ones. So they will last you, and it is a little steep in terms of if you think it's this little pot. I would say buy the set. Don't just buy the one, buy them both together because they work really well and you'll find your own way to develop and use them. I mean, the instructions are on the back, super easy. But yeah, Microsol and Microset, fantastic products for doing your transfers onto your miniatures. So that is the final sort of thing I've discovered in the last 12 months that's really helped me with my hobby game. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope these products are going to be helpful to anybody who's just getting into the hobby, people who've been doing the hobby for years and may not be aware of them. As always, if you want to give me some feedback on the videos, hit me up in the comments. I'm always looking for constructive feedback and ways to improve the channel. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to keep up to date with my videos. Thank you very much for tuning in. Stay safe out there, folks. Bye-bye.